Did you actually, so in your workflow, in your pipeline, there's a couple of things that I'm really curious about. One is, how did you deal with Unity? Because Unity is not like an agentic friendly application, and it's also incredibly monolithic. And so, like, I'm just curious, like, what connector, like, how did you deal with that?
That's a great question. So that is something that is definitely a work in progress for us as well as Unity, right? Because as you know, Unity is working on their own tools as well. And I suspect that they will eventually get there with a fully, essentially AI-driven authoring environment. But yeah, authoring the assets, that's the biggest part of it that you can't do, right? But there are things you can do. So, yeah, the Unity thing is where I actually use a little bit of outsourcing as well, just to create some of the authoring assets and stuff like that. I would say like a lot of the game logic coding, stuff like that, we did use agents. So we would actually feed the LLMs the Unity SDK, essentially. We say, read this, and how would you do this kind of thing? And it would kind of digest that and think about algorithms that we could employ or things that we could do. And so I would say, although it's not 100%, unfortunately, I did have again, that's where my other seasoned guy came in. He would do a lot of manual programming as well. But I would say 50% of it was agent coded, actually, based on, reading the SDK, going through some of the other open source projects, because the Unity has a lot of open source projects as well, right? So looking at some of that code as well, that could be reference for, doing some of the things that we need to do. So yeah, that was definitely the hardest part. But